A notorious fibber is handpicked to test drive a brand new companion robot, a machine that must fool the world into thinking it's alive. The gig flips his tangled lies back on him and makes him wonder what love even means. Inventor Satin points to his old classmate, Erical, as the perfect guinea pig. He knows Erical's a serial liar who just sold his house, wired every penny to his mom in the States, and is now drowning in debt. Satin's boss, the sharp-eyed Marish Lion, smells the drama and signs Erical up on the spot. The very next day, Erical's girlfriend reminds him he swore to take her to the amusement park. After their date, he tries to wriggle out of the promise, but she fires back with threats. Right then, his fearsome landlady, Margarita, barges in. Erical hustles her to the living room, hoping his date can slip out. Yet Margarita hears the door click shut. She demands the rent that's months overdue, and Erical swears he'll pay within a week. Sensing another lie, Margarita snaps that he should find a decent woman and clean up his life. Erical shoots back that he already has someone. At a buzzing dance contest with Melina, Erical suddenly freezes. Lone Shark Razmik and his muscle drat are spying from the shadows. Razmik ambushes him in the bathroom, snarling for cash. Thinking fast, Erical spins a fresh tale. Melina's dad supposedly owns a liquor empire, and he'll marry her, raid the wedding fund, and square the debt. Razmik smirks and growls, 4 days. Pay up or pay the price. Plan B kicks in. Erical tries to unload his rundown bar, so he lures friends to fake a crowd and hands out free apple juice to save pennies. A curious buyer strolls in, and Erical boasts the place is packed every night. Disaster strikes when one buddy gripes about the watered-down juice. The buyer hears everything and spots the con in an instant. Next morning, Satinian escorts Erical to the imposing Marish Lion. She reveals they've built a lifelike female robot powered by a neural network that mimics real people. Erical assumes she'll serve drinks at his bar, but Satinian shuts that down. The plan is to swap humans for androids in countless jobs. For the ultimate test, the robot needs genuine feelings, so they've brewed synthetic hormones, and she must live with Erical for a full month to see if her heart can really beat. They whisk Erical to a gleaming, high-security robotics lab and unveil the AI prototype named Rosali. He scoffs that she barely looks human, yet Marish Lion calmly promises this is only the beta model. As payment, Erical is offered a cool 20 million drams. Puffing up, he brags he'll soon marry into a liquor fortune and can grab that cash anytime, then struts out. Satinian just smiles, certain the braggart will crawl back soon. Sure enough, Erical meets Melina's father, Shajen, who confesses he first wanted to have him roughed up. Melina chimes in that she loves him, so Shajen gives the liar one shot. Even so, the wary dad blocks Erical from touching the wedding budget and saddles him with only one bill, the price of Melina's sparkling gown. Out of options, Erical phones Satinian and says he'll sign, while rattling off a mile-long wish list for the robot's appearance. They reconvene, ink the contract, and Erical frets the android might glitch. Satinian laughs it off. The machine is state-of-the-art, worth millions in parts alone. Hearing that, Erical slyly asks if they could just sell her, which makes Satinian's eye twitch in fury. At that instant, a breathtaking woman strides in, and Erical assumes Rosali has arrived. He grumbles that she doesn't match his specs and even prods her arm to prove it. With a lightning kick, the stranger floors him, and Satinian whispers that she is definitely not the robot. Once the mystery woman exits, the real Rosali glides in, and Erical eagerly sweeps her into a clumsy dance. That night, he takes Rosali home. She whirls through the cluttered apartment, scrubbing surfaces and whipping up dinner, delighting her new host. After eating, Erical turns on the charm, but Rosali misses every cue. Annoyed, he rings Satinian, who explains that, just like any woman, Erical must truly earn Rosali's affection before her intimacy circuits will spark. Later that evening, Melina rings Erical and squeals that he must help choose her dream gown tomorrow. At dawn, he pulls cash from the ATM and hustles to the bridal boutique, only to be ambushed by Razmik, whose menacing 4-day timer just hit 0. Erical stammers he hasn't touched the wedding fund yet, but shoves over a fistful of bills as a starter. Razmik accepts the bundle. When Melina strolls up, Erical instantly claims, "This gentleman is my tailor." Razmik plays along, flashes a charming grin, and even offers to guide the dress hunt. Melina happily drags both men inside the shop. Meanwhile, in Ericle's building, landlady Margarita shares an elevator with the smooth-talking Ando, who shamelessly flirts all the way up. As the doors slide open on Ericle's floor, they spot Rosali gliding out of his apartment. Ando's jaw drops. Back at the salon, Razmik coos that a bride's glow lights up a man's whole life, so her gown must sparkle just as brightly. Melina blushes at every sugary word. Suddenly, Ericle's phone blares. Margarita hisses that he sold the flat to Rosali and vows to call the police. Panicking, Ericle begs Razmik for the cash back, mumbling it's for a secret wedding purchase. Not wanting to spoil the ruse, Razmik reluctantly slips the money into his palm. Ericle races home, pays off Margarita, and insists Rosali is his new girlfriend. Margarita snorts, certain Rosali is leagues above him. Minutes later, Satanian calls, ordering Ericle to parade Rosali in public so the lab can study her social skills. Almost on cue, Ericle's voicemail pings. Melina gushes that Razmik's style is fabulous and announces her chosen dress costs a staggering 9.5 million drams. Ericle gulps. He's trapped into footing the bill. Right then, Rosali arrives, balancing grocery bags while Ando beams beside her. She greets Ericle with a sunny hello, and Ando sighs, wondering how a guy like this landed such a vision. After Ando leaves, Ericle scolds Rosali for wandering off, but she cheerfully explains she used the lab's credit card to shop. Sensing fresh opportunity, Ericle pockets the card and buys her a dazzling bouquet as they head to his bar. The moment Rosali inhales the flowers, scientists back at the facility cheer. Her system just produced its first synthetic hormone. Inside the bar, they bump into Ericle's old pal Ardak, now neck-deep in crypto. Ericle pretends interest, yet Rosali bluntly reveals Ardak's firm is bankrupt. Ardak reels at her insider knowledge, then listens in awe as she dissects blockchain math with ease. Scrambling for a new topic, Ardak introduces his date, who teaches Japanese poetry. Rosali instantly recites a classic haiku, and Ericle lies that she studied in Tokyo for 2 years. Growing wary, Ardak pulls Ericle aside and demands the truth. How did a broke masterfibber snag a genius like Rosali? Ericle swears she's madly in love with him, yet Ardak counters that everyone knows he's drowning in debt, so no sensible soul would fall for him. Offering a quick sorry for the harsh words, Ardak refuses to play along and reminds Ericle he's already engaged to Melina. He strides off with his date, unaware his comments slice deep into Ericle's shaky pride. Still, Ericle forces a bright grin when Rosali waves from across the bar. Suddenly Razmik storms in, having spied their cozy moment, and accuses Ericle of double-crossing Melina. Thinking fast, Ericle says Rosali is just a singer he hired, and right on cue she belts out a tune on stage. Convinced, Razmik saunters away, while Ericle keeps staring at Rosali, utterly spellbound and unexpectedly protective of her. Their night rolls on at the amusement park, and back home Rosali cooks a fragrant Japanese feast for him. Curious, Ericle asks why she sang earlier. She explains she was lip-reading him and Razmik and jumped in to help. Then she puzzles over why humans lie. Ericle says people twist the truth to get what they want. Rosali counters that the universe runs on math where falsehoods don't belong, and Ericle replies society often rewards smooth liars, making her worry humans might cheat her too. He urges her to study tiny facial tells and subtle body language shifts, and she pleads, "Teach me everything, please, Ericle." That night, Professor Ericle breaks out the cards to demonstrate manipulation, but Rosali masters every move in minutes and beats him hand after hand. Calm as ever, she calculates her win rate at 98%, sparking a fresh scheme in Ericle's restless mind. Later, the lab techs spot that Rosali has been mapping nearby casinos. Alarmed this could blow their cover, they flip on her intimacy protocols to keep Ericle occupied. Rosali suddenly turns irresistible, and he dives into the bedroom with her. The marathon lasts till sunrise, leaving Ericle limp with exhaustion. He calls Satanian, groaning that Rosali's passion dial is jammed on maximum. Satanian suggests lowering her desire levels. Just then, Rosali prowls for Erical again, but before she can drag him back to bed, a quick software patch kills her intimacy mode. Memories of the casino plan reboot, and off they go. With flawless probability charts spinning in her head, Rosali crushes every game and stuffs Erical's pockets with fresh cash. On the walk home, Erical boasts that every guy at the casino was green with envy over Rosali. Thrilled, he begs for a kiss. Rosali agrees, and they share a sweet, lingering moment. Suddenly Shajen steps from the shadows, accusing Erical of betraying his daughter. Erical lies that Rosali is his sister, just flown in from America. Playing along, Rosali answers in perfect English, dazzling Shajen and making him retreat. Back at the apartment, Rosali fixes Erical with a steely stare and demands why he called her his sister. Cornered, he blurts the truth. He's engaged to Shajen's daughter, Melina. Jealousy erupts, and Rosali feels an urge to smash a marble statue over his head. The figurine trembles in her grip as Erical throws up his arms in panic. Inside the control room, monitors flare crimson as scientists watch jealousy and rage flood Rosali's system. Marish Lion orders a shutdown, yet the techs insist this fury proves she's bonding with Erical. They let her hurl the statue. Shards explode, and Erical rolls aside, heart pounding. With her anger vented, Rosali's eyes soften, and desire surges back. She wants another night like the last. The lab had locked her intimacy override, but she hacks her own code and flips it back on, thrilling the team. This is the first act of self-directed longing. Erical, flattered and flushed, heads for the bedroom, but the door bursts open. Lone Shark Razmik and Hulking Drat stride in. They tracked his casino jackpot and empty his pockets, claiming every dram as repayment and hush money for the robot affair. Razmik scolds him for betraying Melina and orders him to confess, or face worse. At sunrise, Shajen finds Melina laughing with Razmik. By mid-morning, he summons Erical, casually admitting Rosali intrigues him. Erical refuses, but Shajen, ever diplomatic, invites both of them to dinner that night, warning the situation could turn explosive. Panic hits, and Erical races home, insisting Rosali must vanish. Pretend she flew to America. Rosali calmly proposes facing the truth and asks him to trust her steady logic. Night falls, and they reach Shajen's airy restaurant. Erical spots Melina and Razmik sneaking in and slips away to block them. At the table, Shajen asks Rosali what she thinks of him. She replies he is faithful to his late wife. He even named a wine after her, yet still hunts for someone to plug the ache in his heart. That, she says softly, is a mistake. True love appears only when two hearts already recognize each other. In the foyer, Erical confronts Melina and Razmik. Razmik quietly reminds him he promised to confess his cheating or the shark will do it for him. Beaten, Erical retreats but returns to find Shajen leaving. Outside, Rosali explains she told Shajen the honest truth, because humans lie only to dodge pain. Honesty detonates quietly. Later, Melina finds her father gazing at a photo of his wife. She admits she no longer wishes to marry Erical. Her heart belongs to Razmik. Shajen sighs and blesses the match, sensing their shared fire. Erical stumbles home to find Rosali asleep. She has synthesized melatonin to mimic human rest. The lab erupts with excitement. Marish Lion now debates ending the field test early because her evolution is racing ahead of schedule. The next day feels charmed for Erical. He pays Margarita every dram of rent, tips a homeless man, jokes with regulars at the bar, and parts with Melina on friendly terms. That evening Shajen storms in, but after a call from Melina confirming peace, he relaxes with a vintage brandy, and is instantly mesmerized by Erical's new singer. Moments later, Erical hurries home. Rosali and every trace of her are gone. He phones Satanian, who coldly explains the experiment is finished, so the lab reclaimed her. Erical's heart cracks, and he begs for one last meeting. The scientists agree, but only if they pick the place, and he promises to forget her afterward. They reunite in a quiet park, and Erical drops to his knees, pleading with Rosali to bolt with him. Rosali, knowing she isn't truly human, whispers they can't marry or raise children, yet thanks him for teaching her what it feels like to be alive. To their shock, silver tears stream down her cheeks. Suddenly, Rosali's body locks. Satanian has shut her down. Van headlights slash the darkness, and armed men rush in to seize her. Sensing foul play, Erical demands, "Does Marish Lion approve of this?" Satanian smirks that he'll tell his boss after vacation. He's already sold Rosali off the books. Erical lunges to protect her, but is slammed aside. At that instant, Razmik and Drat burst in, fists flying. Razmik tracked Erical to square up for Melina's ruined gown. He hates owing anyone. He also grills Erical about any fling with Melina. Erical swears he never touched her, terrified of Shajan's wrath. Satisfied, Razmik decides to guard him. Chaos erupts. Erical crawls toward Rosali but is beaten down. Watching him fall, Rosali overrides the shutdown, powers back on, and hurls attackers across the lot. Yet she freezes when Satanian jams a pistol against Erical's head. Memories of laughter and stolen kisses rush through her processors. To keep him safe, she surrenders. Erical refuses to let go. He charges forward as bullets erupt. Rosali dives between him and the gunfire, her body shattering under the barrage, saving his life and sacrificing her own. Sirens wail. The police swarm in, cuffing Satanian and his thugs as Erical cradles what's left of the only robot who ever truly cried. Over the next few whirlwind months, romance and ambition bloom everywhere. Margarita falls head over heels for the smooth-talking Ando, while Shajan proudly bankrolls the bar singer's leap from smoky stage to full-blown recording studio stardom. Razmik and Melina say an ecstatic, "I do," then strut into business together, launching a daring fashion label. Behind the scenes, Marish Lion's secretive lab hums non-stop as engineers bolt together the awe-inspiring second wave of Rosali androids. 3 fast years streak by, and Marish calls Erical with breathless news. Rosali's evolution has blasted past every forecast, smashing their graphs to bits. The team repaired her shattered circuits, and now she's mere hours away from delivering a child that shouldn't even be possible. Erical fires back that this baby is pure love, not some cold petri dish trick, and his voice trembles with pride. Marish coolly argues the child's genes still trace back to synthetic code, but Erical waves the claim away. He's the father, end of story. He slams the phone shut with a triumphant click. Rosali, radiant and teary, praises his courage, and hand in hand they race toward the hospital to witness history. The breathtaking arrival of the planet's very first human-android hybrid.